Hello, welcome back once more. I can't believe it's over 2 weeks since I did my last video. I apologise about that, but I'm back. I want to start with a warning of a new movement that's about. I've known about it for a while, but I saw something this morning on the internet that reminded me about it. I need to warn you about it. It's a movement that says if God is so loving, as the Christians say he is, he would never send anyone to hell. And if he won't send anybody to hell, that means everybody will go to heaven. So if you become a Christian, you're guaranteed to go to heaven, whatever you do. That's the message of the new movement. But I've been speaking to people of this movement in the past, and when they started with, your God is a loving God, he loves everybody the same, I said, yes, I agree totally. They said, so if he loves people like you say he does, he would never send anyone to hell. I said, that's right. He won't send anyone to hell. He is a loving God, that's not what he's about. He wants to save you, not to destroy you. And at this point, because I was agreeing, they were getting a bit agitated. And so they said, so that means no one will go to hell. I said, well, that's where you're totally wrong. They said, well, if God doesn't send you to hell, then you've got to go to heaven. I said, no. God doesn't send you to hell. Your actions, what you do, send you to hell. You send yourself to hell. He doesn't. He doesn't want you to go to hell. It is what you do, or what you don't do maybe, that will send you to hell. Jesus says he is the only way. You've got to go through Christ, be saved, be born again, and then lead a proper life. So this a new movement is a load of rubbish. They're only taking the good things, and that's the message they're portraying. But there's some strong lessons in the Bible, some harsh lessons, and it all needs to be taught. And not just the fancy bits, but all of it. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that message in advance of what I was going to say today, because it's important that we are aware of these false prophets, if you like, who are spreading a different gospel. It is not the gospel of Christ. That's not what the gospel says. And the message I do want to give today, it actually leads on from what I've just said. The message today is, if you talk the talk, you must walk the walk. Because many people understand the scriptures, they learn a lot off by heart. And they speak a good argument, but they don't do anything with it. They don't lead the lifestyle that the Bible requires. And they're very knowledgeable, but they're not walking the walk. They can give a good argument, and they know the scriptures very well. But I'll tell you one thing, they might know the scriptures very well, but they don't know the scriptures as well as the devil does. Satan knows the Bible inside out and back to front, understands the meaning, understands everything about it, more than almost any man will ever do. And he doesn't walk the walk either. He uses scriptures, he twists it, he makes people use things out of context in order to make their argument valid. I'm not going to enter into examples on that, but they're fairly obvious. But what the scriptures say, I'm going to James 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. That says, just do not be hearers of the word. I mean, how many people do you know, they attend church, hear the message, and then go home and they can't remember the message, the sermon? If you go into most churches on a Sunday morning and you ask people privately, what was the sermon about last week? Not many will be able to tell you. I know, because I've done it. I've been in churches, given a message, and I know that most of the people will not remember it. But what I do know is that the people who the message is intended for will hear it. God will make sure those people are there. I've been to churches where the ministers apologised that there's not many people there. I said, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people are there. I know the people or person who that message is for will be sat there and will receive that message. I've got that assurance from God. He says his word will not come back void. The message will do the work that God wants it to do. And that includes the message I'm giving now. A number of you might not even watch it, a number might ignore it, but there will be some who will know it's for them. You need to walk the walk. The Bible tells you how to live your life. And the Bible tells you, one of my favourite verses, James 4:4. Now you've got to understand that once you give your life to Christ, you've got to live as he says. You've got to be a true believer and not just talk the talk, like I say. James 4:4, part of it. Know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. If you love the world and the attractions of the world, then you're making yourself an enemy of God. You are not walking the walk. You can't love God and love the world. That's what James 4:4 tells you. You've got to choose. And if you give your life to Christ, I hope that means you've chosen the way of Christ. But if you give your life to Christ and you still indulge in the world then you're making yourself an enemy of God. He says, doesn't he, many are called, but not all are chosen. So which bunch will you be in? Called and chosen, or called and unchosen? Because of your actions, because of the way you live. You cannot serve two masters. He tells you that. But when he tells you that you can't serve two masters, I think he was meaning you can't love money and love God. But here it says you can't love the world and love God. You can't serve them both. You can't be friends with the earth and friends with Christ. It doesn't work. It's in the book. Read it, for goodness sake. James is a fantastic book. Get into it and read it. And if you don't understand anything, ask a pastor, ask me, ask anybody. But don't just take their word for it. As I keep saying, the scriptures say, test everything. And that's what you need to learn to do. Test what you hear. Test what you see. Test everything. That's what the scriptures say. I hope you've got something out of this anyway, because I think it's an important message, especially the one about this new movement. We've got to be aware of it and stay away from it. In fact, we've got to challenge it if we hear it. We can't just hear it and stay silent. We've got to stand in the gap. We've got to stand up for our beliefs, what we believe. We've got to stand up for what God says. As I said, it's in the book. Please read it. As I say, I hope you got something out of this. All my other videos, as I've mentioned before, they're all on YouTube. Just do a search for Rev Stephen M. Lawson. That's Rev, R-E-V, Stephen with a P-H, Rev Stephen M. Lawson, and you'll find all my videos. Enjoy, and until next time, goodbye and God bless.